All right, so what is your name? Where are you from?
My trail name is First Class, and I am from Atlanta, Georgia. Now I live nomadic.
Awesome. So you just drive around, live in the
Yeah, so
car?
I spent after I got done with the AT last year, I spent the winter up at Sugarloaf Mountain in Maine, and worked and snowboarded all winter. And then now I'm headed out to Colorado to do the Colorado Trail.
Sweet,
Yeah.
exciting. So when did you do the AT?
So I started on April 18th of last year, 2023.
Okay, awesome. And why did you choose to do the AT?
I was somebody that didn't really know a lot about backpacking. I was living in Atlanta. The trail started at an hour and a half right behind me, basically, and I knew nothing about it. I lost my son in January of last year. I woke up February 4th. First thought I had was to hike the Appalachian Trail, and from then on I prepared for it, and on April 18th I set on my journey to hike the trail.
So I mean, hiking the trail was directly connected to like after your son
Oh,
passed. You were
absolutely. I would have never done the trail, never realized what was right here in the backyard, um, if it wasn't for losing him. And this is a healing journey. I mean, the trail spoke to me. It's a magical place out here. It pulls the people out here that needs to be out here, and that's what it did for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was your son's name?
Jonathan.
So would you mind telling me a little bit about the story with Jonathan?
Yeah, so Jonathan was born with short gut syndrome, and basically the beginning of his intestines and the end of it got too close off, and it twisted off and killed itself before it was even pregnant, or before she gave birth. And we dealt with that till about 3 years old. He had an intestinal transplant. So after his intestinal transplant, everything was good until everything was great. He had our bumps, and he was a normal kid, and just took his rejection medicine on a daily basis. And he woke up one night around, he was 9 years old, and he had two busted eardrums. Mom gave him amoxicillin and Tylenol, which he's had numerous of times in his life, and his liver decided to shut down. Um, and, and that's, and then 2 weeks later, he passed away.
So you were aware that he had like, I mean, obviously you knew he had health problems, but the actual passing was a shock, I'm sure.
Yeah, because we were never expecting the liver. The medicine he had before he had his transplant is bad for the liver, so liver took some damage when he was younger, but it seemed to be working just fine. And I just think the buildup over the medicine over time, and his liver wasn't showing any signs, and it just shut down. And it was a complete shocker because, like I said, he was a perfectly normal kid. When I got him for Christmas, he come running up to me. He's like, "Dad, I'm a straight A student," and like so proud, absolutely love life, and healthy as could be. Well, not as could be, but it seemed like it. And
Yeah.
then it just all of a sudden his liver shut down.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's something I can't fathom.
I don't know how. The trail is how I made it through. I got this as, I guess his trail name is J Dog, but I always called him J Dog. And so I got this in memory of him on January, the day he passed last year, or this year. And I'm going to continue this journey right now because that's what I need to do to continue to heal from this. The AT was a huge part of that. Individuals make a life-changing experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've talked to a few other people who have dealt with grief on the trail.
Yeah.
And it has really helped them. So I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about like what about the trail helps you deal with that grief.
Well, just being outside of that chaotic lifestyle, and because I lived in Atlanta, so I lived in a big city, and like everything was right there. Booze, I mean, for me to go get a bottle of whiskey and drink it in one night was right there and easy access. Whereas out here, it's not so easy. I mean, you still get it, but you have a goal, you have a destination to get to. And like I said, the trail brought me here on purpose. And there's something that draws you to this trail, to people that really need to be here, that really need that. They're lost in life now, and they need to find a way. And the trail is the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it gives, in addition to giving you like space to think, it gives everyone purpose, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm sure, like a parent, I've never been a parent, but like parents, their purpose in life a lot of the time is to like see their kids be successful and
Absolutely.
whatnot. And so after Jonathan passed, I'm sure that, finding a bit of purpose on trail was that like helpful as well?
Yeah, well, mainly the beginning part, the trail is the healing journey.
Yeah.
Finding myself is still the journey ahead and finding my purpose. But the trail showed me how to heal and how to continue to grow stronger. Because when I got to Maine, I didn't realize I was going to stay in Maine.
Yeah.
And I ended up staying in Maine. So my purpose is still out there somewhere.
Totally.
And I'm not necessarily looking for it. I'm just doing adventures to continue to heal and to enjoy life. My son loved life. He absolutely cherished it. He fought every day for it and absolutely loved it. And so I try to live the way he did. He's sociable, talk to every individual there was. So I try to meet people. In Maine, I pretty much knew the whole mountain within 2 months. It was great. And me being how he was is my way of continuing his legacy and, his life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he inspired you for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That boy taught me more than I could have ever taught him. It's incredible.
Do you have any good memories from your time on trail?
Oh, man, so many.
Do you want to share one or?
Let's see. Well, this one actually is related to Jonathan too, but so he had passed in DC and on January 9th. Well, me and my friend Star Waffle, we were headed to DC just to go to DC. She's like, you need to go into the city and deal with that city, because I didn't want to go. So we took a bus into there. Well, signs just kept saying, like, he loved wolves, and there was like a wolf habitat or something that I saw a sign for. We get into the city. There's a train, or sorry, not a train, but there are trains, and he loved trains. But there was an elephant, and I made this elephant noise for him all the time. He made me show all the nurses. Absolutely loved it. And so that was just a reminder. Well, we're trying to figure out where we're going to sleep. We go to a park. Well, the park was closed 2 years prior on his birthday, March 7th. In 2021, it was closed. And so we obviously knew that's where we were going to sleep. So we ended up sleeping there. Next morning, I was planning on going to the hospital where he had passed. And I get a text message from his mom. And she's like, I'm really thinking about you today. And I look at the date. And it was 6 months to the day of him passing. And I stood outside the hospital room where he had passed. And I got to speak to the nurses. They knew him. The child life specialist, Jessica, she told stories about him, which was incredible. And, Star Waffle got to hear stories about him that I, absolutely loved hearing too. And somebody else got to tell stories about my son to somebody I met in my trail family. And it was incredible. And it was a huge healing journey. That's probably one of my top moments, just because it was the biggest step I could have taken in my healing journey.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. So I'm curious if you don't, this might be prying too much, but like after his passing, like you and your wife stayed in contact?
Well, we were never married, but yeah, I mean, we still contact. I saw her when I went down to Atlanta. We did he stayed at the Ronald McDonald House a lot.
Okay.
And so my sisters, my twin sister in particular, put together a fundraiser to basically have a transplant room at the Ronald McDonald House honored in his name.
Wow.
Since so many people donated. So for a year, he'll be honored at the Ronald McDonald House. And it's basically his donation for that room and pays for that room for the year in his name. And I saw her there. She came down for that. And then we went to his gravesite. And I did get to see her. But we do contact every now and then. And things are good. It's, we're both going through a huge struggle. She has a completely different life. She has 3 kids, and basically a husband, and I'm nomadic.
Yeah.
So, but we're both finding our different ways to heal.
And so does just this, you mentioned being away from society. I'm sure that just having the time to think is good out here.
It's good and bad.
Good and bad?
It's good and bad. But no, it's definitely better than bad, but it can it can break you down. Whenever I would have bad thoughts, the nice thing about being out here is I would pick up a tree branch, a nice solid tree branch, and I would just hit it against the tree. It sounds chaotic, but like I would just swing it and hit it as hard as I could. And sometimes it would break, sometimes it would take a couple times before it break. But that's just the relief of it, and I'd be screaming and like nobody's gonna bother me.
Yeah.
And so it was just that true like complete release.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, not good to keep it all pent up. Like,
and that was my way of figuring out how to do it. And I could just be walking on the trail, be like, oh, that's a good stick, and I'd be angry and just wham and hit a tree. I'm not doing damage to the tree. I'm breaking the limb.
No,
basically.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you find ways to cope. You think about, you know, in my particular case, there's a lot of bad thoughts about, you know, what I could have done different, which everybody has those thoughts when they have a loss. But I was able to focus on my surroundings, what views like the one we have today.
yeah.
I was able to be around people that were there for me, didn't know me before,
Yeah.
didn't know Jonathan, but were there for me hands down, which
Yeah.
is still there for me.
Yeah, it's amazing how people out here look out for you.
Yeah.
So,
We all have the same goal.
yeah.
We all want to get to the Mama K.
Mama K.
Yeah, and most of us do. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. It's hard. It's going to break you mentally, physically, but it's going to make you stronger.
Yeah.
You're going to do things you never thought you could. I mean, you've hiked the PCT, so you understand what I'm, you know, kind of getting at.
Yeah.
But Mama K, there's nothing around. There's no other mountains. And like when you're in the 100-mile wilderness and you poke out and you can see Mama K for the first time, and well, first time like with a real good view, and you're just like, wow. So
Wow.
you'll enjoy it. It's
Sweet.
beautiful. It's a hard climb.
Yeah.
It's the hardest mountain on the trail, but it's
Fitting.
Your adrenaline's just pumping.
Yeah.
And like I told you, last year I did it in miserable weather on
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. That's the greatest feeling. I mean, and my son is up there. I took his ashes all the way from Georgia. I dumped a little bit out here at Angel's Rest, which is not too far behind us. And then I dumped a little bit in D.C., and then the rest I put on the sign in Katahdin. And he froze to it was so cold he froze to the sign. And it was fitting.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Very symbolic.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have one last question. What do you think, for you, what's the meaning of life?
The meaning of life is to live like we were supposed to. Not chaotic city life, not stuck in a rut. Live outdoors. Even if you know, I'm not saying you'll live nomadic, but even if you have a 9-to-5 job, like, don't get stuck in that rut. After work one day, go camp. You know, go camp, and yeah, you got to go to work the next day. But guess what? Take a shower, you know, at the gym. Most places have gyms nowadays where you can take a shower.
Yeah.
Just don't do routines. Don't get stuck in life.
Yeah. Keep it interesting.
Life is about journeys, adventures, the people you meet. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you own or what you have. Sure, everybody's gonna have more. Some people are gonna have less. Everybody's gonna want what everybody. I don't. I want everything everybody has out here. Whatever we can carry on our back.
Yeah. And the experiences and the memories and.
Now it will be nice making this trip out west in a car.
Yeah.
Having more things, but no, you don't need it, and you realize that out here in life. The meaning of life is to love and live and enjoy and be kind to others. I mean, my son was the nicest person to others, and that's the way I'm trying to be, and that's the way everybody should be. There's none of this animosity out here.
Yeah.
There's none of this anything.
Yeah.
People will give you the shirt off the back if you need it, and it's incredible, and that's what life is about.
Totally. Yeah. Love, community, keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. And having experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Well, first class, thank you so much.
Of course.
And thanks for sharing the story of Jonathan.
Yeah, no problem.
Very powerful. And good luck on the Colorado Trail.
Thank you. Good luck making it to Mama K.
All right.
She's a beautiful thing, and you'll do it.
Sweet.
You'll make it.
All right. Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.